Hello, we want to welcome everyone to the Doug Loughridge Coaches Show. Here we are. We completed week one of conference season. I'm Jared Schoonover, hosting this week. And Coach Loughridge, if you could talk a little bit about, we had a long trip down to Lake Hamilton. It wasn't necessarily the way we wanted it in. I know the way that you wanted it in. But from a standpoint of takeaways from the game, and how can last week's situation and just the experience of last week help us be successful in the future?
Well, number one, on a trip like that, it's very important that you learn how to travel and know how to travel. So, especially with our young kids on making a trip like that, it was over 4.5 hours on a bus just to get to Lake Hamilton. So we were able to bust the trip up, in a couple hour segments as we go. We were able to go to Arkansas Tech University and have a walkthrough. They were very hospitable having us there on their campus. We were able to do that, and then we went on down and had a team meal in Benton, and then we loaded up and went to Lake Hamilton. Got there a little early so we could stretch our legs but when you're on those three buses for that amount of time, it's a little weary on you. So kids got there, they took care of business. I thought we'd come out in pregame and bounced around the way I thought we should, but it's still, it's a little wearing on it to take that trip.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. It was wear on me. Yeah. As a 46-year-old man in a car drive down for 4.5 hours, I got out of there and I was with Mr. Patrick in a vehicle, and I told him, I said, I can't imagine for kids right now getting down this drive. It's just a tough drive to Lake Hamilton. There's no really good way of getting there. But regardless, that's the experience, and there's a real chance that you win the games that we need to win and have an opportunity to possibly get in the playoffs late in the season. We might be making that same type of a trip later in the season, so we'll have experience with that. There's no doubt about that. Just moving on, I want to talk about the kids, obviously, and talk about some individuals that you would like to recognize from last week's game, Player of the Week, and then also some highlights that you saw.
I thought defensively we come out early and played really well against the run. They were quick to abandon that and start throwing it on us, which, they found some things I think they liked in our defense. Our offensive line was really tough, and we weren't able to get the pass rush that we should without having to bring backers and things like that. So, that early, but I was real proud of the kids, especially before half. We held them to 2 field goals to where they didn't get scores, and had it with us having the ball last before half and then getting the ball the first and second, we felt good to make a 14-point swing. But defensively they were really good. We struggled offensively that night. They took away our run game, obviously, and then we just couldn't find something to hang our hat on that night. But proud of the way the kids played. They played hard. We had a interception return for a touchdown, Cole Pittman. So with that, Cole Pittman will be our Farm Bureau Player of the Game this week. He had 16 tackles, 1 for loss, and a pick six. So he got it's actually the first defensive touchdown we've had in the last 2 seasons. So Cole got the one, so he will be the Player of the Week this week.
Okay. Talk a little bit about what you said there as far as I talked about it on Friday night in the broadcast as far as the value of a 2-for-1. The last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. When you go into that situation, and I think at the time we might have been down 17 points because we did have a couple stops there, field goals, holding them out of the end zone. And really you're not, when you have that, we, I believe, deferred to start the game. So we're getting the ball in the second half. Talk a little bit about the mindset going in and try to how you use that last 4 minutes of the first half and try to tie it in to get momentum going into the second half when you get the ball.
Well, our mindset is we have pretty good faith in our defense, so we like to put them out first to set the tone, to let our offense still kind of have to be put out there right off the bat, to try to get some motivation as far as trying to figure out how we want to start the game. But defensively, that's our mindset, and then we're able to usually times out and works out to where about the last 4 minutes or so, we usually end up getting the football and try to make that the final drive before half, and not get them the ball where they can get the final drive, and then obviously getting the ball after half. So it could be, whether you're down 6 or whether you're down 14, you got the possibility to have a 14-point swing to get back in it if you are in a bind, or you can get way up.
That's right. No, you can really get ahead. I agree. I think there's definitely scheme involved in, as a play caller, going into basically guiding the control of time of possession into that last couple minutes of the half. You can really either shrink that clock or expand it based on where you're going to fall. But we did. We were able to get the back-to-back there, and with an opportunity really to get 2 possessions back-to-back and have some positive things happen there. From a standpoint of was there anybody else? So you gave us player of the game. Is there anybody on the line on either side of the ball that you saw?
Boaz had another good game. I think he had like 18, 19 tackles, from the defensive end spot. Cole did well in the secondary. We had some guys get banged up. Weston Bowerman got an injury. I thought Hudson came in and did pretty good that night. He had to play corner and step up, so he was kind of playing both ways. He had 6, 7 tackles from his limited time in there. So we had some guys step up that aren't the usual guys, every night. And I thought was proud of their effort and the way they played.
Yeah, Benson did. Benson's all over the field. I love how Coach Benson, Boaz's dad, does a great job of moving him around the field and trying to get him probably, I'm guessing, with matchups that he likes, and tries to isolate him on some matchups. And Boaz really does well wherever he's placed, whether it's inside or outside. He's having a great season for us starting out. And I saw it too, what you said. You play a team like Lake Hamilton that has a wing T mindset. You say, we're going to take something away. And I'm guessing going into that game, you said, we're going to try to take the run away and make them throw the football. From up top, I'm thinking, I saw him come out trying to throw the football, and I thought this is a positive thing for us. The young man, the sophomore quarterback, they made that transition from a senior to a sophomore quarterback, and the young man did a good job for him. He's going to be, just like we have a young quarterback that's going to be good, they've got a young quarterback that's going to be good too. They're going to be facing each other the next couple of years. I think good things ahead. But let's jump ahead to this week, because this week really is a game for us that kind of sets the stage for us for the season. By no means is it a must-win situation, but it definitely is an important situation for us, and that's this week, homecoming with Van Buren. So could you tell us a little bit about Van Buren and just what we can expect to see?
Van Buren comes in this game 2-2. The thing that's scary about Van Buren is they have scored points in every game. Every game has been pretty much a shootout. That's the strength of their football team, is their offense. So, every game they have scored, I think the least amount of points they've been held to, I think, is 38. Something like so. They have scored. They put up lots of yards on offense, lots of points, but they also give up lots of yards and lots of points on defense. So we're going to have to make sure defensively we don't give up the big plays and try to make them churn out drives. Try to hopefully get some takeaways and things like that, create some turnovers, get the ball back to our offense. That's going to be the biggest thing, is that we get the ball back to our offense, and when our offense has the ball, we keep it. So that's kind of what we got to do, going in. Obviously, things don't work out all the way that you plan, so we've got to have a plan B and C going into that. But they do got some really good players. They got 2 really good receivers. They got a quarterback that's very efficient. They got a really good sophomore tailback, maybe one of the best ones in the state as a sophomore.
Yeah, no, I've heard that about the young man. He can really tote the rock, and I think that's obviously going to be a focus for us. I've heard he's one of the better young players in the state right now, as far as and has had a good year thus far. Can you talk a little bit about just preparation for this week, going into the game? Some points to the boys. Obviously, we talked about last week. We're not going to talk about scheme and preparation necessarily scheme-wise, but what's some of the focuses this week?
Keep it on developing players, because this time of year, week 5, you start getting some little knick-knack injuries. We don't have anybody that's out for the season or anything like that, but just here and there trying to get some development for the guys. If something happens, that we do have somebody that can step in, and that requires our sophomores and juniors to be able to step in those roles. We got to keep getting better up front, because obviously that's the one thing about the 6A West that's different than non-conference, is the offensive and defensive linemen that you see in this conference are unreal compared to what you see in non-conference. Just the way they're physical, big, strong. So we have to keep working on our guys to make sure our technique and stuff, because that's where we're going to see our best matchups of the year. So we got to make sure we're very sound technique-wise and fundamentally-wise, and we just keep getting better. Obviously, Titus keeps getting better as we go. We've got to put him in situations to be successful. And, we still got to keep on developing Mason and running backs to where we're able to run the football, because, as we thrive on running the football. So we've just got to keep progressing as we go. This is going to be a big week for us. This will be a big week in the conference. They're already 1-0 after beating Russellville. This is one that we need to go out and play well. and try to get a leg up in conference. As you know, every week gets it bigger and bigger. So there's some big matchups this week.
Oh, there is. No, it really is. These early wins, if you can get some early wins in conference play, it really takes a lot of pressure off of you as the season progresses, and also gives you opportunities to really expand the season. And Van Buren's going to be one of those forces. We fully expect it to be a dogfight for us. Van Buren's a team that played a like opponent that we played already in Alma, and so you probably have a good idea. And it was a dogfight there, just like it was a dogfight for us. So, feel that it could be a good matchup for us. They're well coached, and they're going to do a good job. I know Mo has been down there for a few years, and he understands how to win and has had success in his past. So I fully expect it to be a game that we're going to have to play our best game to have that opportunity for victory. But talk a little bit about, obviously it's a big week for us. It's homecoming, right? And so there's a lot of things going on in homecoming. One thing I know in my younger days, I really was resistant to some of the things that go on in homecoming, but eventually learned you almost have to embrace some of it. And it's important. It's important for a school. But talk a little bit about to Panther Nation how you have to embrace the importance of the week, but not allow it to distract the focus of the boys. What do you do with that?
Homecoming's homecoming, and this is something like you said, you learn, you deal with, and it is a big time. I mean, these are some moments and memories that our kids, the players, will remember. It's that our student body will remember. The homecoming court, teachers, just everybody getting involved all through the week with the theme days and the dress-up days and all that. Those are fun things. You look back in yearbooks from years past, and you'll see all those things happening, and that's a big deal. On Wednesday, we get to take all of the court and the seniors and their escorts to all the schools in the district, and they're able to walk through and see all the kids, and that's a big day for them that has a sense of pride and community to be able to go through all the schools in our district. And then we kick off the end of the day with a parade that goes through the downtown, and that's has all of our teams involved: 7th, 8th grade team, 9th grade team, senior high, the homecoming court, the escorts, even our youth league teams, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th graders. So it's a big deal. It's a big night, but it all comes down to that game on Friday. So regardless of what all happens through the week, we're still kicking off at 7 o'clock, and that's when we have to be there and be able to take care of business.
See that? I think that it's any time that you have a situation like with Lakeside, I think you have to look at it as a learning experience. I think we all have to look at that. It's really easy preseason. Pre-conference anyway, a lot of excitement with the success that the program's had. I mean, it's been drastic success, really, when you look at, we talked about it in the broadcast, outscoring our opponents by, I think it was nearly 60 points overall. Really had a dominant non-conference season. Understanding, though, what we're going into, and we played a program in Lake Hamilton that has a lot of history, they are where we're headed. As far as already, they kind of have created their program. He's been there for a long time and has had an opportunity to create that. And I think that the community just needs to know, and I'm going to personally, I know that you're not going to say it and toot your own horn, but I'm going to say it. They need to know that Doug Loughridge has come from winning. Doug Loughridge has come from building programs and had a lot of success. And the men that he's put on this staff have had success both as coaches and as players. And I really expect – I just see a different swagger amongst our kids. Was last week a setback? Yeah, we're going to have some of those setbacks, and we'll probably have more setbacks throughout the season. It's just the nature of the beast. But positive things are happening here at Siloam Springs, not just in the football program, but across everything. I talked about, I want to just briefly, I'm going to use this show as a chance to talk a little bit about that. It's exciting when you see winning is how you do anything is how you do everything. And the perfect example of that is here at our high school. Being a B+ school this year, and I think it's a direct translation. I think that you'll start to see more and more things. We're seeing success at the volleyball program. They're doing a heck of a job over there. Cross country, doing a great job there. I love the fact that our baseball coach and our basketball coach, head boys coaches come. They're going to every game and they're participating with me in the broadcast. I just think that you're seeing a team mindset and a lot of people winning, a lot of people having success, and you're a big piece of that, coach. And I'm glad that you're here.
Well, I think all those programs bleed over to each other because, we work with these other coaches and students and teachers every day, and everybody that is associated with this school to be successful. And you know, we're not honed in just on football. It's all programs. Most of our football guys are multiple sport athletes and play other sports. So as soon as we go into basketball, we love to go see our football guys play basketball, and we like to go see our football guys play baseball and soccer and so on and so forth. You know, both our kickers this year are soccer kids, and the having the, you know, unity with them in the soccer program and Coach Moses has been a great deal. So, you know, it is a team first attitude. That's where you get into the sense of pride and community with what we do with our district, and it's just a great situation.
I think the other thing I want to mention is, you know, Dr. Miller, I've enjoyed the last 2 years that I've been here watching her embrace the athletic program. It's not like that everywhere you go. She embraces the athletic program just like she embraces the school. The school's is really headed in the right direction overall. It's just exciting to see. You see it, just the confidence that our building has. When I come into meetings, people they're proud to be at Siloam Springs, and she's a big piece of that. Shane Patrick, our superintendent, it's not everywhere you go that the superintendent goes to every ball game, you know, and is there front and center, standing on the sideline. I just think it says a lot about what we're doing. So I'm excited, Coach. I'm excited for Siloam Springs. It's a great community, great place, full of high character people, and full of people that are hungry for this success that is happening. So, and they've had a lot of success over the years in a lot of different things, but I see the football program heading in the right direction. I just want to tell you, I'm going to use this platform to I know you're not going to toot your own horn, so I'm going to do it for you. I'm glad you're here, and I love seeing what you're doing. But let's go get Van Buren this Friday night, and let's have a great homecoming, great experience for the boys, and let's open up the first 5 games of the year with a winning record.
We're excited, and we look forward to Friday.
Okay, thank you.